Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly ULTY portfolio update for the end of the week. Hope everyone's week was fantastic and that you've got some good things going on this weekend. Reason to celebrate because ULTY's been up every day this week. Even when you look at this chart here and you see that downward movement, that's just the dividend that was paid out. So since the start of the week, ULTY's up 1.36%. Let's go to the 1 month Google chart. It's been down quite a bit. 6 month, also down about 10%. But this part right here, we're finally seeing some upward movement. And a lot of that had to do with the underlying holdings, which we'll get into now. So looking at the big winners from the day, the two ones that really stand out are IONQ and Rigetti Computing. Both of these are quantum computing stocks. So I took a little bit of a look at just the overall quantum market, and here it is. This is the quantum market for 1 year. You see this stock here, QUBT, up 2,000%. RGTI Rigetti, which is held by ULTY, up 2,000%. QBTS, another quantum company, up 1,600%. IONQ only up 653%, only up that much. And then the ETF, that is not a pure play on quantum companies because there just aren't enough, but QTUM up 66% in 1 year. Let's look at the year-to-date charts of these. There's been a lot of good news. And so let's take a look at what made IONQ go up today. And that was that they got approved to buy this company, Oxford Ionics. I guess they'd been trying to do it since June, but the UK government didn't approve it. The deal was worth $1 billion. IONQ's giving Oxford $1 billion in stock, and they're only paying $10 million in cash. So a lot of upside for the people who owned Oxford Ionics. If IONQ takes off, that's going to be great for them, but hopefully also great for IONQ, and hopefully that continues to go up as well, because 18% in 1 day is pretty impressive. Now, again, going back to Rigetti Computing, which was also up, I think this was just a broader movement in the quantum computing markets. I did find an article about Rigetti, or a news release, back from September 2nd, where they just announced partnership with the Indian government to do more development and research into quantum computing. But like I said, the overall quantum market has been going up quite a bit. We can look at just the individual charts from the days. Quantum computing was up 7%. D-Wave Quantum up 7.5%. NASDAQ's at an all-time record high pretty much. Just keeps on going up. So tech, quantum, all that stuff, AI is definitely pulling the ULTY portfolio up. We can see RocketLab was up 10%. And RocketLab had some news back in August about launching their 70th successful mission of their Electron rocket. They actually had photos here, which was kind of cool to see. There's their rocket, very impressive looking. And so they've been doing well. They're up 10%. There's just a lot of euphoria in the market now for these types of stocks. Palantir was also up 4.3%, so that's good to see. Didn't have any big news, but just a high beta stock. When the market goes up 1, Palantir goes up 3 or 4. Now, the stocks that were down this week were Reddit and Robinhood. Again, high volatility stocks, no news on these really that would push them down. There wasn't anything about them being added or removed from the S&P 500 like last week. Same thing with Strategy, not too much movement there. So some other news in the ULTY portfolio is that they acquired Rocket Mortgage, or Rocket Companies. You're probably familiar with Rocket Mortgage. Maybe you've seen the ads. ULTY acquired a small position, about 0.66% of the portfolio, $21 million, 1 million shares exactly. We'll get into that trade in a moment. So they added Rocket there. I kind of speculated at first that this might have something to do with the Fed lowering rates and Rocket benefiting from those lower rates. Maybe they'll just keep writing more mortgages and giving out loans. But when I looked at the underlying trades for Rocket, I think it's just a volatility play. So these are the trades that ULTY made around Rocket on September 12th. This was the buy of 1 million shares at $21.26. This is a buy of a put that they bought 10,000 contracts for 21 cents. So if you take 10,000 contracts times 100 shares times 21 cents, you get $210,000. So that's how much they spent on that put. If you look at this put here, we can break it out. I think I broke it out here. No, I didn't. Well, anyways, if you kind of break it out, you'll see the 1950 there. That's what they have the right to sell it at. So that's their downside, $19.50. If Rocket goes below 1950, they're not going to lose any money past that. And these puts expire next Friday. You can see 2025 9/19. They also sold a covered call for $22.50, again expiring on the same day, and for that they collected $420,000. It was the same trade, basically 10,000 contracts, 100 shares a contract times 42 cents. So let's get into that specifically. And here's their profit and loss, basically how much they could make. So their break-even price is $21.05. And the way you get to that is, well, how much did they buy the shares for, which was $21.26? How much did they receive in premium, which was 42 cents, I believe? Yeah, it was 42 cents. How much did the put cost to protect them? And so the net credit from this options trade is just the 42 cents they received minus the 21 cents they paid. So they get a net credit of 21 cents per share. So if you take the cost per share minus the credit per share, you get $21.05. That's how far the shares can fall for them to break even. So $21.05 is the break even. If it hits there by the 19th, they don't make anything. Let's highlight that. And their downside is capped at $19.50 because remember they have the put that they can sell there. So that's their downside at $19.50. We'll highlight that. Do in red. Go white text. And their upside is capped at $22.50 because they sold the covered call. So ULTY, as we always talk about, they cap their upside when they sell covered calls to generate the income. So that's how much they could make, $1.2 million just on that trade alone, which is pretty good. If it expires or if the price of RocketLab stays at where they bought it, they only collect the options premium, which is still a pretty good payday of $210,000 for basically 6 trading days. So interesting stuff that the ULTY traders are doing there. Good to see. Hopefully RocketLab doesn't, or not RocketLab, Rocket Mortgage, Rocket Companies, doesn't go anything below their break even of $21.05. We'll keep a close eye on it and update you guys next week. All right, so what else did ULTY do? Well, they decreased their Weeble position. They used to have 6 million shares. Where did I have that? There's the shares. Now they only have 3.7 million shares. It was about a $32 million decrease. So they've decreased their Weeble position. I don't remember Weeble doing that well. Let's take a look. In the last few months. Okay, they've been up, 3-month chart, they've been up 24%, which is pretty good. You see some volatility there. Looks like they were up 64% at one time and then just been kind of trading around there. That was that big spike. Yeah, they debuted this year. So maybe, I don't know why they sold it, but there's probably just not enough upside for them, or they think there's going to be some downside. So maybe they're not receiving as much option income as they'd like, so they're slowly getting out of Weeble. We'll keep an eye on that as well. So going over the winners and losers from the portfolio, we had 12 winners, which is always great to see, and some of them were very large. IONQ, 18%, Rigetti, 14%. A couple in the threes there, Oklo and NewScale, so the nuclear guys. And the losers, we had 6, although I think the losers actually account for Weeble since it went down. So maybe only 5 there. So 5 or 6 losers. Increase of about 107 million, decrease of 40 million, net 67 million to the portfolio. Good stuff to see. Their cash position keeps increasing. I gotta show you guys the cash position. This takes a little bit more filtering, so bear with me. Their cash position keeps increasing. They've got $500 million in the money market fund and 28 million in just pure cash. So could see that deployed next week. 18% of the portfolio is cash, which is quite a lot. And just to clarify, ULTY didn't sell anything today either. So the positions are all still the same. They only added a new position. All right, guys, that is pretty much the update for the week. Oh yeah, I did add this, which is kind of cool to see, the industry that they're in. We see 2 are in quantum computing. And when you look at these quantum computing 6-month charts, that's kind of exciting. We've got aerospace for RocketLab. 2 are in the nuclear energy space, which definitely has some upside as well. And then we've got a couple fintechs here with Weeble, Robinhood Markets, Upstart, and then where was the other one? Affirm. Affirm as well, kind of fintech, I guess buy now, pay later. So this kind of gives you an idea of what ULTY is holding. Oh, and then Coinbase, cryptocurrency / fintech. So that is where the portfolio is concentrated right now. So kind of a neat thing to see. I'll see if there's another visual that would make this better. That is my video. That's the weekly ULTY update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, hope you're going to have a great weekend. I think no reason why not to. You got your ULTY distribution. Let's head into the weekend with some extra cash in our pockets, or reinvest it, or do whatever you want with it. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.